Well, gotta make the adapter for the three-wheeler. This here is battery. I guess what do you want to call it? So you can run dual batteries. I guess battery parallel. Yeah, dual battery balancer. That's what it's called. Uh, it's a couple years old now. I have two of them. They come with Anderson connectors on them, and I'm changing them over to the XT60s. So I had originally the original Anderson connectors had corroded, so I had to put new ones on. And when I put them on, I had crimped them on, but I didn't use a very good crimper. And now that I have these uh, heat shrinkable butt connectors, I'm going to try to use them because they can heat shrink, and I can use my heat shrinking gun. So here's the old connector that I had put on them, but I wrapped them with this cloth electrical tape, so never did have a problem with them. So I'll just snip them off and strip a little bit back. And it seems to be the blue connectors, the blue ones are the right size for it, for these wires. Well, it fit on the red one anyhow. Because I have the trike set up with dual batteries now. And you got to have some good grippers. These are channel locks. Klein makes a nice set too. They make a really nice set as well. It was basically, yeah, these crimpers are what? About 25 years old. So what I'll do now that I got one side finished, I'll heat shrink it because these are supposed to be able to. You're supposed to be able to heat shrink these things. Let's see if I can, or see if they will. Put it that way. See this curves on the heat gun. It makes sure it gets all sides of the connector hot where it shrinks it. I'll still wrap them regardless. I'll still wrap them. That's just habit. It doesn't seem to be. Yeah, okay, yeah, there they go. I guess it takes a little bit more heat on these ones than the last ones I've used. Huh. Oh, pretty nice. Okay. Let's try this side now. Yeah, I bought these XT60s in bulk. So I have the male and the female with pigtails on them like this. I have the raw ones to where you can solder the tips on. And that's originally the way I was going to do it. But I came out to the garage and found out my uh, soldering iron in the box it was in, brand new box, Weller soldering iron, was underwater. So that kind of ended that. So figured, okay, all right. So I'll give these heat shrink butt connectors a try. Like I said, this cloth tape is phenomenal. This stuff, and you can reuse it too. That's a good thing about it. You can reuse it. Reason I'm snipping the wire ties always on this cloth tape. I know it doesn't need it on the cloth tape. Well, even electrical tape. I got in the habit of doing where the end of the wrap ends. I just put a small wire tie on it to keep it from unraveling. That's just a habit that I did over the years because I've done a lot of high-end car audio stuff over the years. So yes, I'll keep these Anderson connectors for sure. Even though I got a big bag of them, I do have other things that use the Anderson connectors. But all my e-bikes, I converted them over to even the BBS HDs still come with Anderson connectors on them. And I just take them off because I noticed like on my Wolf Tracks bike, it had issues. It kind of tricked me because what it would do, it would work, but it wouldn't be enough power to uh, make the bike function. Be enough power to turn it on, but the bike wouldn't function. And I found out the actual Anderson connectors, the moment I touch the battery, it actually fell to pieces. Is what actually happened. And at that point, when I realized they were um, that bad on corrosion, I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. Switching them all over to XT60s. And that's exactly what I did. So all my batteries, everything have XT60s on them. So okay. As you can see, two sides. Obviously, this is where the batteries go, and this is where the motor goes. Um, I've never had a thing lick a problem out of these things. They've been flawless over the years. I used to have one on my other bike in my Wolf Tracks until I got a 20 amp hour battery for it. There's a strand right there. I need to get that strand off. Once I got a 20 amp hour battery, I took dual batteries off of it. And then, so I had an extra one of these. These were, let's see, these, like I said, these are quite old. Um, they've got to be at least 7, 8 years, maybe old. I got them. There's a company up in Boston, Massachusetts, that makes them. The company is Wagon. That's it. Wagon was the name of the company, and they were one of the very first ones that were that was making stuff like this. Everybody else was when they were adding dual batteries on their systems back in the day. They were taking a chance of blowing up batteries. Yeah, you could put both batteries in parallel, but once one of the batteries would start discharging, that stronger battery would start charging the other battery and reduce it down into power. So yeah, they had these little T connectors to where you could run dual batteries and everything. But yeah, that's not recommended for sure. Because one's discharging the other one, and it's not pulling power equally from each battery. So if you have the voltages have to be the same, but the amp hours can be different. But one battery can have like uh, model 2700 amp hour batteries in it, and the other one can have 2100 amp hour batteries in them. And obviously, the stronger one's going to be last much longer. So once you start drawing the weaker battery down, the stronger battery would start charging it, and it's like, okay, that's not right. That was the problem with those T connectors those guys were using back in the day when they were using those T connectors. Ouch, ouch, ouch. This is hot. This is hot, hot. It's hot, hot. This is excellent. See, I'm used to dealing with cables like really big, like 1/0 power cables and stuff. That's what this heat gun was really designed for. There's serious, serious cables. But you can use it on this. It does have 2 settings on it, but okay, that one looks good. Maybe this one a little bit more. This one a little bit more. Looks good. Looks good. Has a cool down cycle too, where it'll keep cool that thing down. Oh, this bracket here is just wire tied on there across the top of the heat sink to so when I put it on the bike, I have something to screw to. That's basically what that's for. Okay, now the motor side. Reason I got this other plug out here, this battery plug, I just want to make sure I get the right size, right side, like positive and negatives correct. Just want to make sure of it. Even though, on these pigtails, they're right, but I just want to make sure they're right. Oh, and also make sure that I put the right pigtail on the right end. Okay. Why won't this one unravel? Hmm. I know it's wrapped that way. For some reason, it won't unravel. Maybe I'll use this to grab it. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need that to grab it. Okay, now these are heavier gauge. The motor side are much heavier gauge. I think they're probably eight gauge or close to it. Probably 8. Definitely larger than a 10, that's for sure. I'll guess they're probably 8 gauge. Okay, there. There. Okay. Ugh. Yeah, these are definitely 8 gauge for sure. Oh, it's cooled off. So I'll probably have to use the yellow ones for this one. Yeah, these are designed. These strippers aren't designed for 8 gauge cables. That's why it squeezed a little bit when it. Okay, let me try a yellow one on this. It should be able to strip it though. problem. Get the stragglers off of there. Think a little bit more. Yeah, that'll work. Now, these are the female. I need the male for this end. Let's see here. Let's make sure these yellow ones will fit. Oh, perfect fit. Perfect fit. Perfect fit. Now, now what I need to make sure the motor is a male connector, I think. The batteries have the female, the motor has the male. Yep. Okay. So here we go. Okay. These should still fit in there with no problem. Yep. No problem. Okay. I might have to heat shrink this one separately to see if I can get it to shrink correctly. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Let's see if we can heat shrink this one. And that's hot. Even holding above it, it's hot. Takes a little bit for the gun to heat up, though. Yeah, there it is. But once it's heated, it heats quick. Ouch. It's hot, hot. Yeah, it's definitely working. Yeah. It's definitely working. Now, let's do the black one. The negative. They tell you not to twist these wires together because make sure you get all your stragglers. You don't get a good as a crimp when you twist the wires together. I don't know if that's true or not. I honestly don't know because just out of habit, I've always twisted them together, and I've never had a problem with a wire being pulled apart. Yeah, always crimp them opposite of each other. That's the way I always done it. Because these will put a notch in the crimp, but not break the coating. You can squeeze it enough to where you can break the coating, but you learn how to use the tools over the years. Now, let's try this one. Let's try to heat shrink this one. Heat gun. Yep, it's heated. It's heated. Ooh, it's hot, hot. It's hot, hot. Yeah, it's shrinking pretty quick. Now, like I said, after it gets warmed up, it does the job very fast. Now, these are supposed to waterproof butt connectors, these heat shrinkable ones. Eh, I still don't trust them. Other than a straight cable, I don't trust any connector. Okay, that looks pretty good. I could paint them to make them look different. But, you know, why? I should take his bracket off and paint it. But that's how you heat shrink connectors onto a dual battery. Easiest way to test this is plug it up to the bike. I know it's good. That's why I kept. That's why I had taken it off the one other bike when I was using it before. But you know, I had both batteries back then, so I didn't need to take it off. But now that I have large batteries and I started making my own batteries, I learned how to make my own batteries. Got all the stuff that I needed to make them. So now is the tedious part is just rewrapping them. I'll go ahead and get another roll of cloth tape and rewrap these. So that's how I heat shrink with these heat shrinkable butt connectors. Okay, if anybody learns anything, let me know. Thanks for watching. You have a wonderful day.